Tomorrow, the congressman who represented Detroit for more than 5 decades will be laid to rest.
I hope that his legacy is really a model for future leaders to follow.
The congressman's former staffers celebrate his life tonight in Detroit at a place that was close to Conyers' heart.
Plus, McDonald's CEO fired. Why the company says he showed poor judgment and had to be let go.
Also ahead, rain in the forecast.
What it means for your morning drive, plus the dip in temperatures around the corner that's going to make a big difference.
But first, as thousands prepare to say goodbye to former Congressman John Conyers Jr. at his funeral in Detroit tomorrow, those who knew him best celebrated his life tonight.
The late congressman passed away a week ago at the age of 90. He cherished every opportunity to serve his community.
Are you ready for a victory?
Conyers was the longest-serving African-American congressman in U.S. history and a celebrated civil rights icon. Conyers co-founded the Congressional Black Caucus and led the fight to recognize Martin Luther King Jr. Day as an official federal holiday.
Dozens of his former staffers gathered at Baker's Keyboard Lounge in Detroit tonight, and that's where we find 7 Action News reporter Jen Shantz. She's live there, and this place, Jen, holds a very special place in Conyers' life and also with Conyers' inner circle. Is that right?
Absolutely, Amira, it does. In addition to everything that you two mentioned, for those who knew him best, Conyers was also a jazz buff, and Baker's here in Detroit was a place he frequented. Tonight, a few dozen of his former staff members came here. They flew from all around the country to not only remember their former boss, celebrate his life, but also share memories.
The day before the longest-serving African-American congressman is laid to rest in front of thousands, a smaller celebration with those who worked alongside him for decades.
We wanted to make sure that we got together as a staff to honor him.
A group of Congressman John Conyers' former staffers met Sunday night at a place close to his heart, Baker's Keyboard Lounge in Detroit.
Jazz was #1, and you know, in the office he would always have some jazz music on. It was Coltrane, Miles Davis, or Charlie Parker.
Whether it was fighting for voter rights or against racial injustice, as a boss, they say Conyers had his own way of doing things.
More demanding than people know. He really liked talking to people.
I mean, he was a giant, but he was also just a man who really believed deeply in public service.
When it came to tackling tragedy, they say Conyers was a natural leader, always thinking long term. This former staffer remembering the congressman on 9/11, moments after the 2 towers fell.
Mr. Conyers quickly went to work on trying to put together a town hall meeting or a press conference because his major concern was that people would maybe try to racial profile and there would be riots, and he wanted to avoid that at all costs.
I hope that his legacy is really a model for future leaders to follow.
Most of these staff members flew in from the D.C. area. Again, this comes just one day after thousands are expected to say their final farewell to the congressman during a funeral. That's tomorrow morning here in Detroit. Live in Detroit tonight, Jen Shantz, 7 Action News.
All right, Jen, thank you. And that funeral is going to be held at Greater Grace Temple on West 7 Mile in Detroit. It starts at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. Former President Bill Clinton and Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. are among those expected to speak at the final farewell.